you chose to become an independent. When I look at your history with your past, last night, I'm at a local Italian restaurant that I go to all the time, Casa D'Angelo, and I'm there, and I can't leave the place. Everyone's asking me, I saw you're going to have the mayor on. Let me tell you. They were sitting in the entire family. I want to give these guys the right shout-out because they'll know that we were talking yesterday. It was the Shortino family, right? Anthony and Michael. And the family sitting there, the wife, the mother, everybody. Let me tell you, we're Republicans, but this is we can't have Mamdani. We're going to be getting behind him. He's a good guy. He's got to do this. Then the other table, New York. Then because, South Florida is a lot of New York. And you're seeing this surge. You're seeing this number taking place with the level of interest on what's going to happen in New York City. But Mamdani is the lead today. And when I think about you, and I think about, your past, what you've done, how you came up. And I went and looked up if you were always registered a Democrat. You were a Republican 95, 97 to 2001. So you were Republican for 4 years. And then you switched to Democrat. And then you became independent. And when I ask around, people who know you, who like you, I don't know a lot of people that don't like you. Almost everybody I talk to, they like you. We have a friend, Alex Spiro. I'm sure you know who Alex is.
Yes, I do.
We spoke this morning. He said, let him know that, Alex is a heavyweight.
Yes,
you know who Alex is. So
it doesn't get any heavier.
No, it doesn't get any heavier than Alex. No, Alex is as heavy as it gets. Yeah, he's represented everybody.
That's right.
Trump, Musk, a lot of Jay-Z, a lot of guys. So the question becomes, you go Republican, you go Democrat, now you're independent. I ask, why did that happen? They said, well, you have to understand New York politics. This is as Republican of a Democratic and independent candidate you'll have, but if he goes as a Republican, da-da-da-da-da. I said, what made Trump attractive is the following. And I'm just going to talk openly, and I'd love to see what you're going to say.
Yes.
So he came out and he said, look, this is what I am. Boom, 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 boom. So everybody's like, okay, I know how to get behind him. Because I think this is the worst time ever to be wishy-washy to try to win everybody over, right? Especially in the city you're in. And when I look at this, I'm like, you don't give me Democratic vibes. Even when you were doing the sanctuary city, I'm like, dude, this guy knows this is not going to, you even saw, why are we giving away the money? And the moment you started saying that, they came after you immediately. We got to take this guy out, right?
Well said.
So what caused you to go from being a registered Republican, not for a split second, for 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, to a Democrat, then an independent?
And so let's think about this for a moment, because you're right. Our city, both Dems and Republicans, have different feelings on different topics. And what you'll find throughout those entire years, I've been consistent. Public safety. We have to be safe because that is the prerequisite to our prosperity. And I have been always focused on that. My moderate Dems, even progressive Dems, my moderate Republicans, even conservative Republicans, independents, they all say you have always been clear that our city must be safe, my children must go to school safe, I must be able to live on a safe neighborhood. That is the foundation of my run. Party lines and party labels don't define a person. I may be a blue Democrat, but I'm red, white, and blue. I love this country. I had a 19-year-old uncle that died in Vietnam defending this country. He didn't agree on everything, but he said, when my country called, I responded. That's the energy that I come from. So when you look at someone like a Michael Bloomberg, who was one time a Democrat before he ran Republican independent. Donald Trump was a Democrat at one time, before he ran Republicans. Those of us who love the country, we use the vehicle to continue to serve the country. The vehicle doesn't define who we are.
But why were you a Republican 97 to 01?
We saw, I was a police officer at the time, and we saw an unbelievable lax criminal justice reform. We were doing some of the things that we're doing now, allowing people who commit crimes. There was a repeated revolving door. And as a police officer, I was seeing this all the time and telling those who were in office that these laws are not the way we should be going. And the Republican Party started defining clearly the whole public safety agenda. I have a straight public safety, business-friendly, law enforcement agenda, and that's why I did.
Why did you leave it in 01? Because 01 is when Giuliani and Bernard Kerik and the late Bernard Kerik, they're cleaning up the streets, right? Yeah, he was a good friend of ours as well, yeah. So why 01? Was it after 9/11 when you switched back to the Democratic Party, or was it before 9/11?
It was when I switched back was around the time when I said, you know what, this is a Democratic town. It's almost similar to what Michael Bloomberg did. It's a Democratic town. You need to be on the Democratic Party if you're going to get elected to get something done. If you want to get elected to get something done, you have to understand what vehicle to use to get elected to get something done.
Did somebody knock on the door and tell you to switch, or was that like, hey, Mayor Adams, if Eric, Captain Adams, if you do this, I think you can end up being a mayor, you can have a political career? Was it just a decision you made? Was it an event that took place with Giuliani and Carrick? What was it that got
some of my mentors, when we sat down and I saw what was happening in the city and what direction we was traveling in the city, they said, Eric, don't only complain about it. You need to get into elected office to do something about it. I had a young man who was 11 years old. He was arrested 2 or 3 times for robbery. And I was doing midnight tours of duty, and I walked into the precinct. I saw him in there. He was spitting at everyone, cursing at everyone. And throughout the night, I befriended him. And I asked him, what's going on? He broke down and started crying. His dad was in jail for homicide. His mother was selling a body on the streets, hooked on crack cocaine. And he was out of school for 3 months, and no one knew about it, that he was out. And I realized that putting handcuffs on these children is not going to solve the problem. And when I spoke with many of my mentors, they said, listen, you did time in the street as a police officer. You see the end of the problem. Now go in government to reverse the problem. And that put me back on the pathway.
Got it. So the inspiration was to leave the Republican Party for that, but it was also, if you're going to have a political career in it, join the Democratic Party. They're going to have your back. You'll have a career politically there. Now, you went there, okay? And
not always had my back. I was always the outsider.
Nowadays, more than ever, the brand you wear reflects and represents who you are. So for us, if you wear a Future Looks Bright hat or a Valuetainment gear, you're telling the world, I'm optimistic. I'm excited about what's going to be happening, but you're a free thinker. You question things. You like debate. And by the way, last year, 120,000 people got a piece of Future Looks Bright gear with Valuetainment. We have so many new things. The cufflinks are here. New Future Looks Bright. This is my favorite, the green one. Just yesterday, somebody placed an order for 100 of these. If you watch the PBD podcast, you got a bunch to choose from. White ones, black ones. If you smoke cigars and you come to our cigar lounge, we have this high quality lighter cutter and a holder for the cigars. We got sweaters with the Valuetainment logo on it. We got mugs. We got a bunch of different things. But if you believe the future looks bright, if you follow our content and what we represent with Valuetainment, with PBD Podcast, go to vtmerch.com. And by the way, if you order right now, there's going to be a special VT gift inside just for you. So again, go to vtmerch.com, place your order, tell the world that you believe the future looks bright. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.